Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 254 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. What did you expect? I can still hear my mom saying that to me when my friend had let me down again. Well, I expect people to do what they say they're going to do, but that doesn't always happen. We know that, right? How much time do we spend creating things in our head because something or someone is different than the way we expected it to be? It could be with anything, our day-to-day activities or relationships, anything your brain expects to be a certain way. How much grief do we cause ourselves unnecessarily because something is different than what we had expected? I was going into the doctor's office this last week to get my hormone pellets done. And I've always had the same doctor, Dr. Pearson, for years. But today when I went in there, they took me a different direction in the clinic, which I thought was odd. And it was also a different nurse that brought me back, which was also odd. And then when she said, Dr. Chohan will be right in, and then left me in the room, I was like, what is going on? So I had this expectation that I was going to have my same doctor that I'd always seen and be with the same nurse, but it definitely wasn't heading that way. And so while I was waiting there, I had all this time to think. I started thinking, this just isn't comfortable like it used to be. I mean, my friend no longer is managing the office. I don't know the nurse, and now I'm seeing a new doctor. And what if she does things differently and I don't like it? I mean, this office has just changed so much. I even had the thought that maybe I'll just stop doing this. I saw myself and was very aware that I was heading down a spiral of negative thoughts when I thought, wait a minute, just hold on a minute. Dr. Chohan is Dr. Pearson's daughter. They're beautiful people. And maybe, because she's a female, maybe this might work in my favor because I can now ask her some questions that I've been wondering about. I mean, it could actually be a really good thing. But you see, my expectations were one thing, and the reality was a whole other thing. And if I had let my brain go, by the time the other doctor came in, I would possibly have been a nervous wreck and have myself so upset that maybe I even stopped doing something that literally saved my life because my hormones were so off. So I checked myself before I wrecked myself, literally. I love that saying because I'm finding the more aware I am of my thoughts, the more I realize most of the problems I have in my life, I created right in my own head. I was about to make myself really miserable in that office. And I wondered how many times I've done this before and not been aware of it. The more we're able to pivot when things aren't the way we expect them to be, the better off we are. My little sister was in Florida for the 4th of July, and the weather was really crummy. It rained up a lot, let's just say that. Well, one morning it was really raining, and it was going to rain all day, so she said she journaled that, okay, she's on vacation, she's surrounded by her favorite friends, and no matter what the weather was, she was going to have a fun day. They would just find things to do that didn't involve a boat. And that's exactly what they did. They had a dance party on the porch. They played giant Jenga. It wasn't the fun they expected, but it was definitely the fun that they created. Life is unpredictable. It isn't always going to go the way that we think it will. And people are unpredictable too. They aren't always going to act the way you expect them to. Now, I believe having expectations are a really good thing. It keeps you driven and excited. I just think we need to manage them. I mean, if you think about it, we manage expectations all the time. If someone's young, we expect them to know less than someone that is older. If someone's driving super slow, we get less irritated when we realize that they're elderly. So how do we manage our expectations day to day? Well, Buddha got it right, in my opinion, when he inferred to us to always expect the unexpected. That's a good thing to do, especially with COVID. They're taking longer than normal pre-COVID, right? Companies are having a hard time finding good workers, and sometimes we expect good service and don't get it. But does that mean we just should expect bad service? Well, no, of course not. We manage our expectations. We pivot. And if all else fails, we learn to expect the unexpected. because getting upset never helps. It never helps you, and it never helps the situation. If I had gotten upset enough to stop my hormone pellets, I would have long-term consequences for that, which would not be good. And when you simply expect to have fun regardless of what's going on, then you look for where you can have fun, and you don't rely on circumstances to be just right, kind of like what my sister did in Florida. My husband's a pilot, and they have a saying they teach in Human Factors. The definition of conflict is a difference in expectations. In order for us to manage conflict, we have to manage our expectations and be aware of them. Can't forget that part. Maybe you show everyone driving slow the same compassion you'd show an elderly person. Why not? If you really think about it, expectations are at the core of every upset we have. Every single upset that we have is because our expectations were not met. I mean, a different doctor at my doctor's appointment, a rainy holiday when you expect sun, an argument with your partner because they worked late again. And this list could go on and on. You probably already have a few of your own that have come to mind. My challenge to you today, though, is the next time you start to get upset, figure out what expectations are not being met, and then ask, how can I pivot my thoughts to stop this negative spiral? The key, as always, is awareness. The more aware you are of your thoughts and your expectations, the easier your life will be. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.